What's up, guys? I've been waiting pretty much all month to make this video. I wanted to make it sort of as late in the month as possible, just so I could get as many items to talk about in this video as possible. And so welcome to the 2020 January conspiracy theories video. I'm hoping there's going to be some good conspiracies come up, maybe some resurgence of some old classic ones. I feel like things like the Mandela effect and stuff have sort of faded into obscurity, and I have my own theories about some of those things that I would like to talk about, but if it's not topical, I'm not going to bring it up. But anyway, this video we're going to be covering everything from Trump's impeachment to the coronavirus to the Australian bushfires, and I've got three different sort of stories surrounding the bushfires that I'm going to talk about. So we'll get to those at the end. We'll start off with the first one, which is Trump's impeachment. So I'm on Snopes.com. I'll try to put all of the links in the description for you as well. But I'm on Snopes.com here, and I just got a reply from a friend. Messaging back in a second. So it says impeachment trial, conspiracy theories and fidget spinners, which obviously immediately caught my attention. I was like, ooh, what's this about? And thankfully it's some very small paragraphs on each sort of point that this sort of conspiracy theory is surrounding. So I'm going to read, let's have a look. Yeah, it's a pretty short, relatively short article. So I'm going to read that article to you, give some thoughts, and then we'll move on to the next one. So, Democrats argued that President Donald Trump sought a phony investigation of political rival, of a political rival, and pursued a discredited conspiracy theory that Ukraine, while restless senators played with a new toy Thursday during Trump's impeachment trial. Highlights of Thursday's session, which wrapped around 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and what's ahead as senators conduct the third impeachment trial of a president. Political investigation. Pressing their case for a second day, Democrats said there was no evidence that former Vice President Joe Biden did anything improper in dealings with Ukraine. Rebutting a central Trump claim, Democrats said the president sought a political investigation of Biden by Ukraine to sway the 2020 election in his favor. There was no basis for the investigation the president was pursuing and pushing. None. He was doing it for his own political benefit, said Representative Sylvia Garcia of Texas, a Democratic prosecutor. Similarly, Democrats said Trump and his allies, including his personal attorney Rudy Giuliani, published a bogus Kremlin-pushed conspiracy theory that Ukraine, not Russia, meddled in the 2016 US election. Trump put himself first ahead of US policy and the national interest, said Representative Adam Schiff, chairman of the House Intelligence Committee and lead Democratic prosecutor. Democratic senators. Sorry, we're into a new section here. Putin gets religious. Democratic senators laughed as Schiff joked that Trump had made a religious man out of Vladimir Putin, a reference to a comment by Putin last November. Thank God, he told an economic forum in Moscow. No one is accusing us of interfering in the US elections anymore. They're now accusing Ukraine. The discredited theory that blames Ukraine for interfering in the 2016 elections is no laughing matter, Schiff said, calling it central to the impeachment charges. Trump is accused of seeking the Ukraine investigation and a probe of Joe Biden and his son Hunter for his own political benefit while holding back congressionally approved military aid as leverage. Fidget spinners to the rescue. As senators sat through endless hours of arguments, they found another outlet to focus their attention: fidget spinners. Senator Richard Byrne handed out the toys to his colleagues before Thursday's trial proceedings began. Fidget spinner is a small toy designed to be spun around. I think we all know what fidget spinners are. relieving stress or boredom. Burr was seen playing with a blue spinner while listening to arguments by Representative Gerald Nadler, an impeachment manager. Other senators were also seen with spinners on their desks. It just sort of goes on a little bit more with whether or not Russia or Ukraine meddled in the 2016 elections. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it was Trump himself. Just wanted the office that badly that he made a bunch of false votes in his favour. I wouldn't be surprised. And yeah, obviously, where was it? Yeah, and he's been accused of the two crimes that, like for impeachment that he had been accused with were obviously he held back congressionally approved military aid as leverage, which means that he was obstructing Congress, and the other one was, where did I see it? It was a different article, but there was another one, and basically it was just to try and guarantee himself a second term, which obviously is not allowed. So yeah, I don't think anyone's really surprised that Trump would do this, and American politics is always going to have conspiracies surrounding it, just like, Bush did 9/11 being a big one. So yeah, next one is the coronavirus. This one is on politifact.com. Headline: fact-checking hoaxes and conspiracies about the coronavirus. And it starts off pretty sort of strong here. Falsehoods about a new strain of the coronavirus spreading from China vary widely, from Facebook posts that take a patent out of context to conspiracy theories about Bill Gates. Many of the claims were shared by Facebook and Twitter users, and others were propagated on the fringe internet and notorious conspiracy websites. One falsehood was even shared by a 2020 US Senator candidate. The virus, known as the Wuhan coronavirus because of the central China Sea where it originated, has infected more than 900 people worldwide, and China has restricted travel within the country amid a rising death toll. Obviously, all of this is correct. We can verify this on other sites and the news and whatnot. Misinformation about the coronavirus has particularly taken root in Facebook groups for anti-vaccine advocates and believers in QAnon, a broad right-wing conspiracy theory. Many of the posts about coronavirus were flagged as part of Facebook's efforts to combat false news and misinformation on its newsfeed. PolitiFact sifted through dozens of social media posts and fact-checked a few of the more popular inaccurate claims about the Wuhan coronavirus. If you see suspect claims in your social media feed, they have a email address there that you can send it to, and they'll check it out. So the first one is that there is a coronavirus patent. That claim is inaccurate. Several Facebook posts, tweets, articles, and YouTube videos allege that a vaccine developed for the coronavirus just as it started to spread earlier this month. Those claims were widely shared in anti-vaccine groups on Facebook, where some users said the disease could be a government plot to vaccinate more people. And obviously they'd be able to associate the death toll with this disease to vaccines killing people, because they're anti-vaxxers. The coronavirus patent is owned by the Purvite Institute, said Shiva Ayyadurai, hope I pronounced that correctly, a Republican running for US Senate in Massachusetts, in a Facebook post, but they have been associated with a variety of conspiracy theorists and right-wing provocateurs. As evidence, the post links to pages for a patent on Google and Justia, but that patent is related to the coronavirus that causes SARS, which is different from the Wuhan strain of the illness. So SARS and SARS-CoV and is the beta coronavirus that causes severe acute respiratory syndrome. Their punctuation needs correcting there, or I don't know, that sentence just doesn't make sense. There are no vaccines available for any coronaviruses, let alone the Wuhan one. Amesh Adalia, senior scholar at Johns Hopkins University Center for Health Security, said. The next one is that FEMA has proposed martial law. That claim is fabricated. In an article published on the 23rd, a website called Twisted Truth wrote that the head of the Federal Emergency Management Agency had called on President Donald Trump to impose martial law in the United States, which would transfer power to the military. Acting FEMA Director Pete Gaynor on Wednesday offered President Trump a startling solution: martial law in the United States to prevent the spread of a lethal Chinese coronavirus that infected hundreds and killed at least 17 people in the communist nation, the article reads. The story's been shared more than 570 times on Facebook, according to CrowdTangle, an audience metrics tool. Twisted Truth also published a YouTube video that has more than 5,000 views. The claim has been amplified by QAnon conspiracy theorists in blog posts and threads on 8chan, formerly 8chan, a fringe internet forum that was briefly taken offline after it was linked to mass shootings in New Zealand and the US. It's not true. The FEMA director did not advise martial law. Liz Lizzo, press secretary at FEMA, working for them, I think she would know what she's talking about. And the last one for this one that I'm going to talk about, Gates Foundation Predicted Virus, funded group who owns virus patent. As we've already addressed, no patent exists, so there is therefore no group owning that patent, which means that Bill Gates cannot fund a patent. The only thing here that could be accurate is that he predicted the virus was going to come. But I mean, if you've seen memes that say when you realise 1820 and 1920 both had plagues, and then you hear about coronavirus, you kind of maybe. Several Facebook posts, blogs, and YouTube videos claim that the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation predicted and was somehow profiting from the coronavirus outbreak. The allegations were circulated widely in QAnon and other conspiracy Facebook groups and pages, as well as on 4chan. A fringe internet forum where several high-profile conspiracies were created. But this claim takes unrelated events and financial connections out of context and morphs them into an inaccurate narrative about the virus. As evidence, those posts point to financial ties between the Gates Foundation and the United Kingdom-based Pirbright Institute, as well as an event held on the 18th of October 2019. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, the Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health, and the World Economic Forum co-hosted an event in New York City where policymakers, business leaders, and health officials worked together on a simulated coronavirus outbreak, reads an article published by a website called IntelliHub. And then they've got in brackets there that PolitiFact has debunked some of its content before. That article was republished from InfoWars, a conspiracy website run by Alex Jones. The outlet has spread misinformation about victims of the Sandy Hook shooting and the sexual orientation of frogs, for example. Did not know that was a thing you were worried about as human beings. The October 18 outbreak simulation did happen, and tax records show that the Gates Foundation has supported the Pirbright Institute in the past. The Pirbright Institute owns a patent for SARS, again, different from the Wuhan strain. But those disparate facts don't prove that the Gates Foundation has somehow profited from the most recent outbreak of the coronavirus. anything, they show that the Foundation has funded organisations that work to prevent epidemics. Cool. So that's the last one. There's a whole heap more on that site, but we will leave that for its own thing. Alright, so now onto the bushfires. This first one is on 10 Daily, and it is and its headline is when my mouth wants to connect to my brain. Anthony Albanese lashes bushfire conspiracy theories spread by armchair critics. Viral online claims that hazard reduction burns have been blocked are not true, Labour leader Anthony Albanese said, criticising conspiracy theorists laying blame for bushfires at the feet of environmental activists. In the wake of horrific recent bushfires from across Australia, which have burned out millions of hectares, destroyed or damaged thousands of homes, and killed 24 people, many conspiracy theories have spread on social media, claiming, against evidence, that the blazes were caused by restrictive environmental policies. Countless posts have circulated on Facebook and Twitter claiming green groups and even pro-environmental politicians or political parties have blocked hazard reduction burning or are responsible for setting fires. The claims have spread despite environmentally focused parties not holding government in any state or territory of Australia, and the Greens Party's policy platform explicitly supporting hazard reduction burns. So, obvious lies. Speaking to 10 Daily on Tuesday, now I will have to find out what date this was published and let you know, but Tuesday, obviously before this date. Mr. Albanese, sometimes a vocal critic of the Greens political party, rubbished the claims, saying extensive hazard reduction burning had occurred and that the theories to the contrary were not true. People should actually talk to the experts on the ground. The fact is that the state Liberal government is responsible for the management of our national parks here in New South Wales, for example, he said, citing significant hazard reduction across the state. That's provided a buffer to enable the firefighting efforts to be maximised at this point in time. Those hazard reduction processes have been taking place. While police have made numerous arrests over deliberately or accidentally lit fires, many other blazes have started as a result of lightning strikes or other natural phenomena. Hazard reduction burns in New South Wales, for example, are carried out by the Rural Fire Service and Fire and Rescue, the National Park Service, and other government agencies. These burns occur in preparation for fire seasons, in contrast to backburning, which takes place as fires directly approach. Such activity cannot be carried out on days of fire danger. The lengthening of fire seasons means authorities are left with dwindling time frames to undertake hazard reduction burning. One of the reasons why there hasn't been as much as some would like is because we were busy fighting fires, Albanese said. I was told people who would normally be involved in hazard reduction were fighting fires, so that has had an impact. What that means is that we do need more resources for our national parks, but the idea that you can't have hazard reduction in national parks is just not true. It has taken place. They do a fantastic job, so let's actually listen to the experts rather than people in armchairs or politicians, for that matter, about what's required. Speaking of politicians, Albanese also had stern words for Liberal backbencher Craig Kelly, who has been announcing claims in interviews with international media that the bushfire crisis is not linked to climate change. Just hours before Albanese spoke to 10 Daily, Kelly was lashed by British TV hosts as a climate denier. Craig Kelly needs to explain why he thinks it's appropriate at a time where lives have been lost, that he is going to international media saying that climate change and that science is nonsense, Albanese said. The scientists have been telling us for some period of time, and unfortunately it's proven to be correct in the way it's played out in recent months. Albanese called for Australia's Parliament and media conversation to not be constrained by people such as Kelly, who are rubbished as a small rump, who he rubbished rather, as a small rump of climate skeptics. I will leave the rest of that. There's like 2 paragraphs left on that, but I'm going to leave that for you guys to read. Obviously, climate change is an issue, and no one yet really has come up with a solution that the people want and that the governments are willing to put into action. There's been attempts towards doing renewable energy and stuff, but when it comes down to it, governments make too much money off mining and selling the fossil fuels, and what it really comes down to is they just want their paycheck, is basically what it is, and it's kind of disgusting, to be completely honest. This next one is in relation to the fires, but not directly involved in the fires, and that is that there has been never mind, I can't read that to you anyway. It's not going to let me because I have to be a member of that website, which is ridiculous. But it's basically that the Red Cross has taken a percentage of the, I can't remember the exact figure, but they've taken a percentage of, quite a large percentage by the way, of the donations that have been given to them, and they're keeping it for future disasters, so that they have money to be able to, as well as spending, I think it's 10% on their administration costs. So that's 10 cents out of every dollar. And so for like $1 million, there's like, what was it? 1/10, yeah, so $100,000 out of every million has been used to go towards, and it's just disgusting. And then this last one, which is kind of the most, well, at least as far as I am concerned, is the one that's closest to being a full conspiracy theory, and the others are just sort of like a bunch of politicians protesting against each other. This one doesn't really seem to have that much going in the way. But yeah, it is that thousands of Australians appear to believe lasers and exploding smart meters are being used to start bushfires to make way for a new train network. A story from investigation with news.com.au, which by the way is the site that I'm on, no, morningbulletin.com. They're just citing their resources, which is good. We don't like plagiarism. But in a story full investigation with news.com.au has found the conspiracy theory has spread far and wide on social media with directed energy weapons, here on out referred to as Jews, posts being shared tens of thousands of times in the past few weeks. Those who believe the theory say the bushfires in this unprecedented season are being started using weapons which harness the focused power of technology such as lasers or microwaves. And many of the post claims the fires have been deliberately started by a shadowy global elite in order to clear land for a high-speed rail network from Brisbane to Melbourne. They've got some maps here which show that it would go from Brisbane to Gold Coast in 15 minutes. There would be a run that goes from Brisbane to Sydney in 3 hours. There's one that would go from Newcastle to Sydney in 40 minutes, Canberra to Sydney in an hour, and Sydney to Melbourne in 3 hours, with the main sort of stops along the way being Brisbane, Gold Coast, and Newcastle, Sydney, Canberra, Albury, and Melbourne. And then they've got another map right beside it showing where the sort of heaviest bushfires have hit, and it pretty well follows the exact same proposed path, I guess, that the train line will supposedly take. Now that's not, I mean, it's possible, sure, but there is already train lines that go from Brisbane to Sydney, so you would think that they would just build next to them. You don't necessarily need to start a whole bushfire and burn whole million hectares of land to put in a train line that would go right next to where one already exists for a more high speed, more sort of direct service between the major cities of the eastern coast. Anyway, continuing the reading, the deadly bushfires have also been seized on by networks of local and international conspiracy theorists, many of whom claim the fires are part of a UN-led global plot to depopulate the world and seize control for a one-world government under the guises of climate change. Again, this seems like climate deniers just wanting to give an excuse. As part of this wider conspiracy, theorists believe the alleged high-speed rail network will force all of us into big cities where we can be controlled by the government. My issue with this is, if we are all living in cities, who the hell is running the farms that grow our food? Whether that's livestock or crops or what have you. Who's going to be running those if we're all living in the city where there's obviously no land to farm? So I kind of call a bit of bullshit at that. Just saying. Posts to Facebook show bright lines, supposedly laser beams emanating from unsourced and unverified pictures of Australia's bushfires to back up their argument. To that, I gotta say, do you know how kind of easy it is to use Photoshop? Just putting that out there. And if someone's good enough with Photoshop, they can make anything look realistic in a still photo. So, yeah. The admin of one of the largest Facebook conspiracy pages wrote that residents in bushfire-affected communities say forests around their homes just exploded out of nowhere. Theorists have also been sharing maps that show parallels between the locations of the fires and the supposed high-speed rail network, as I said before. Theorists have also been sharing maps. No, that's I already read the bit. One blog post from a fringe conspiracy site, State of the Nation, linking the bushfires to the global warming hoax, has made a huge impact on social media. The article titled "Operation Torch Australia: A Special Report on the Geoengineered Firestorms and Dew-Triggered Arson Fires," claimed to draw striking parallels between the fires and previous wildfires in California. The post, alongside others from the site linking the Australian fires to direct energy weapons, have been shared thousands of times on Facebook. We've then got, I'm assuming a picture here, but it says Australia is being burnt like California in order to clear the way for high-speed rails. This is the dream of the New World Order: force everyone into large cities, control their wages, food, housing, schools, etc. You're naive if you have not researched dew and heart weapons of fire and weather. With apparently a story from the Daily Mail with the headline, Sydney to Melbourne in under an hour, Virgin wants to build 1,200 kilometres per hour floating rail line. I'm assuming is what it would say underneath that. They were spread through a network of local and international pages, many of which were themed around deep state conspiracy theories, chemtrails, or 5G networks. And it's not just Star Wars style lasers they reckon are starting the fires. In one case, a Facebook user whose profile said they lived in Byron Bay shared a post to the Stop 5G Mid-North Coast group with the comment, "Start meters can be activated to explode." the most active pages in Australia showing conspiracy theories linking the fires to directed energy weapons and various alleged government plots has been the Higgins Storm Chasers page, which, despite having only around 10,000 followers, generates thousands of shares and reactions for its posts. Several of these posts claimed to display evidence of energy weapons being used in the fires, such as photos of trees burning on the inside, with one post adding it showed geoengineering, not climate change. On that, very quickly, it is possible for a tree to burn from the inside out. If there has been like an animal or whatever nesting inside the tree and an ember happens to land inside the tree, that's where the fire is going to start from and then burn its way out. Just because the fire might be coming towards it doesn't mean the fire's not going to start inside the tree. That's just happens to be the lucky spot where that ember lands and starts a fire inside. The other thing too is that most bushland generally has, see if I can remember this correctly, generally has sort of as far as like the canopy of the bushland, it's generally a 30% coverage, I believe. It's around like a 30% coverage, because those like eucalyptus trees particularly like to grow tall and sort of separate from themselves, so that when a fire comes and the seed pods burst and they're able to spread their seeds and stuff, they actually are spreading them out away from themselves, so that the tree itself can continue to live after the fires pass through. So yeah, it's possible for a tree to burn from the inside out without it having to be geoengineered. But yeah, there's a lot going on in that, and I just think it's funny that people are thinking that it's high. What am I trying to say? High energy lasers, I guess, that are causing these fires, rather than like climate change, which has scientific proof of actually existing. Pair that with the massive hole in the ozone layer, which for the rest of the world stops UV rays being right over Australia. That hole is right over Australia, so all those harmful UV rays are coming in, so we are getting sort of a higher percentage of solar radiation, as well as the fact that the Indian Ocean dipole and the state of El Nino in Australia has just made the land hot and dry, so that fires are so much easier to start. And I mean, both of those environmental factors do trade places as well, so there'll be a time where we'll be in La Nina and have the opposite end of the spectrum for the Indian Ocean dipole, where will we, have a particularly like a colder, wetter summer than we've had now. And I mean, even within the past week, there's been that much rainfall across the eastern coast of Australia that's put out at least 30 of the major fires that were still burning. So yeah, but that's all for this video. I hope you liked it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. If anything interesting happens and some cool conspiracy theories come up during February, I will be making another one of these next month. So if you want to see it, do hit that subscription button and the notification bell. And if I missed any, these were the only ones I was able to find, but if I missed some really cool conspiracy theory from January of 2020, let me know in the comment section down below, and I will check it out. I may even, if February is a slow month, I may even talk about it in that video. But yeah, until next time guys, Keep your head screwed on.